Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energies for both the collective and the individual life path numbers for June 2022. Before we get into the forecast, I just want to let you know that for those of you who have been asking me to bring back the numerology one question readings, those are now available once again on my website if that's something that interests you. It's an opportunity for if you have a burning question that you just want a quick, concise response to. It's a great affordable option for that. So you can just book some time with me on my website. The information is in the description box below for that. I look forward to seeing you there. And of course, if you would like a more in-depth reading, those are also available, or a coaching session. Those are available as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the forecast. And of course, I will mention that this is a general reading. So again, if you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. All right, so June 2022 is a 12-3 universal cycle. And so typically the energy of the 3 brings with it this big explosive energy of creation, networking, social events, travel, recognition. However, with the strong influencing energy of the 12, we can feel that energy sort of muted slightly, and the focus shifts more towards reevaluation, changing, or sort of reversal of a creative endeavor or life experience. This can be a period of waiting, letting things take care of themselves now through surrender and acceptance without the need for force or control. So under this 12-3 energy, a change in perspective will serve us well, allowing the cycle to work for us rather than trying to overly dominate something. Observe, reflect, meditate, repeat. There is a lot of sort of serenity associated with this energy if we choose not to fight it. You may find that new information or clarity now brings reversals in what we thought we once fully knew. I'm actually facing this myself at the moment, so this is somewhat personal. You may need to make big compromises now on long-term goals or visions in order to fully appreciate and experience what is trying to come in for you right now. With this vibration, success is achieved through acceptance and understanding. The more flexible that we can be with long-term goals and expectations, the more fulfillment we will have within our current right now experience. So try not to fight these forces, but rather flow with them, and the results will be much more satisfying. Try to stay very present within the now and pay attention to sort of your mindset now. Are you self-sabotaging or supporting yourself on this journey? So staying within or coming back to the present moment and doing so often can assist us in seeing very clearly what is actually working and what isn't, what needs your attention right now and what doesn't, and what is a rational fear versus an irrational fear, and what needs to actually be overcome within this moment versus allowing something to unfold further in order to see how it actually plays out. So trips of any kind are very much supported under this energy, especially ones that are solely for enjoyment and exploration or rest and rejuvenation. This is a great time for vacations, both near and far. Ultimately, use this gift, this energy, as an opportunity to see things as they really are and not as they appear to be. Bring the conflicting polarities into some level of perspective now within your mind and create much more harmony within your environment by recognizing the reality of what you are actually currently working with and move from that space. This is a great cycle to pause and observe to gain greater clarity. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a closer, deeper look at each individual life path number for June. Life path number 6. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and it's interesting because I feel like you guys get this quite a bit. It's which makes sense for 6 energy. But you got Armadillo spirit. And Armadillo's message for you for June is to set healthy boundaries. And so, again, this is just sort of a reoccurring theme for sixes. And so this just serves, I think, as a healthy reminder that if there's anywhere in your space, in your experience, where you are taking on burdens that you don't need to, if you are overcommitting yourself to situations or things that you can't possibly fulfill, and that's causing you stress or anxiety, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, all of those things that we think of when we think of, not having healthy boundaries in place, I think you're going to be asked to revisit that this month and to set those healthy boundaries. And so there's also something, of course, to be said for setting the boundaries. But there's also an importance and sort of an integral piece of holding those boundaries. If we don't hold the boundary that we set, we can't expect anybody else to hold it either. And we can't get upset with them for not holding it if we're not holding it ourselves. And so an example of that, of course, would be like if let's say that you are, you're working and your schedule, you're off at like 5 p.m. and you tell people I will not be available after 5 p.m., but yet they email you, they call you, and you pick up the phone or you answer the emails. You see what I'm saying? Like you're setting a healthy boundary that says, I need this time and space. I'm not available at this time. But yet when they reach out, you break your own boundary and you answer their questions or you give of your time. You see what I'm saying? At some point, it's your responsibility to say no and to hold that boundary. And then eventually people will understand that you're not budging on this and they need to respect that boundary. And those that don't respect the boundary don't really need to be in your environment, don't really need to be a part of your experience at this time until they can, again, appreciate and respect the boundary. So I just think that this is coming in just as a reminder that if there's anywhere in your experience that you are, you set the boundary maybe, but you're just not holding it, and you're disrespecting yourself, this is just an opportunity to reevaluate that, take a closer look, and then make adjustments as needed. Okay, and so looking at the month ahead for you all, this is interesting. There's definitely this energy coming in where something has been completed, and you're ready to move on to something else or build upon whatever this is, but you're not quite there yet. So it's kind of like you're in your comfort zone, you've completed some kind of task or situation, some kind of experience, and you're ready to move on to the next thing, but it's not the time yet. So you can kind of see it on the horizon. You can kind of see the energy or feel the energy building. You know you need to take steps outside your comfort zone and do whatever this is, maybe take a risk or something like that, but you're just not ready yet. It's just not the time. So this is more of a month for contemplation, for planning, for thinking about the next steps, and for, making some decisions, but not necessarily for taking action. This is going to be one of those times, one of those months again, where it's like you're allowing the things to come to you. You're allowing the things to come to fruition that you've already put energy into, reaping those rewards, whatnot. And again, starting to look towards the future, to what it is that you want to build, to your next steps, to the direction that you want to move into, but it's not the time just yet to do so, to take that leap. Now remember, this is a general reading. So if something comes up for you and you're being sort of guided to take a leap and, take initiative and do something, follow that guidance, right? Like that is coming from your soul, and that's much different. And so, but as a general guidance for sixes, there's definitely this energy here that's saying you completed whatever this is, you're ready to move on to the next thing, or at least you're now in the planning stages, but it's not quite the time to start that next thing, to initiate that next thing. This is a closing period. I also think for June, for you all, there's something here. There's something here around releasing judgments, finding forgiveness for something. So if there's a situation or a relationship that calls for your forgiveness, or for you to release some kind of judgment, or whatever the situation is, then this is going to be a really good time. This is going to be a really good month to do that, or to start that process at least, right? This can be a really good time to heal relationships, to release ones that are toxic and not working, or that aren't following or adhering to your boundaries, that sort of thing. This can also be a time for sort of contributing towards a greater purpose. And so the energy this month for sixes can feel like a great time to pay it forward, to volunteer, to offer your services, maybe offer some pro bono services if you have your own business, that sort of thing. Do some free offerings, whether it's just of your time or doing a reading or something, or, offering your services, maybe like an instructional video or something on YouTube, right? Where you're getting the information out there as a free service for people to assist them on their journey. This can be, you can have this feeling this month, sixes, of having a greater purpose and feeling like you want to step into that greater purpose, even if you don't know what that is. And that can be part of that energy of starting to explore that and starting to see like what gets your attention, what calls to you, what speaks to you, and then moving from that space. You can also be facing some questions about, the meaning of life and the bigger questions to life. And maybe this is a time where you will have some kind of a spiritual awakening, or you will be called to join a church or join a religion or whatever, or join a group of people who you feel really connected with and who maybe share the same value system and who are doing work for a greater purpose, something outside of themselves. This is a great month to join something like that, to get involved with something like that. This is great energy for goodwill, for volunteering, something like that. Definitely the energy of paying it forward, even if it's just driving through, a coffee shop drive-through or a whatever, any kind of drive-through or whatever, or being at a restaurant and paying somebody else's bill or doing something like that anonymously or whatever. And just, just doing a good deed out of the kindness of your heart, not for the recognition or the validation, but just doing it. This is great energy for that. But I think really you just want to pay attention again to your boundaries, to make sure you have those boundaries set, and that the people that are stepping over those boundaries, before you sort of make a judgment or hold, get upset with that person, just make sure that you yourself are holding your boundaries in place before you get upset at somebody else for not holding that boundary. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is really an energy this month for you sixes, again, around goodwill, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, releasing judgments of others and yourself, and forgiving yourself if there's things that you've done that still eat it away at you, or that you create stories around that are holding you back. This is a great month to get a handle on that and forgive yourself. Release that energy, release that negativity, and find ways to move into a higher octave. So beautiful energies overall for you all. And again, just a reminder from Armadillo to own your power, own your space, and don't apologize for it, and set those healthy boundaries. So I hope it's a great month for you all sixes. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.